Welcome to London, 2025. A city once famed for its red buses, black cabs and Big Ben. Now it's gaining a new, rather more infuriating reputation. It's become a city of open-door luxury hotels for illegal immigrants. While hard-working Brits are counting their pennies, struggling to pay their mortgages or queuing for council housing, the government is rolling out the red carpet for people who've just crossed the channel in a dinghy. They're being checked into 4-star hotels complete with ensuite bathrooms, flat-screen TVs and 3 meals a day. All of this, courtesy of you, the British taxpayer. The housing crisis in London isn't a new story. For years, we've heard about sky-high rents, impossible property ladders, and endless waiting lists for social housing. How can you tell a young British couple, both working 2 jobs, that they can't get a council flat for another 10 years, while at the same time a hotel down their street is filled with asylum seekers enjoying free board and lodging? I'm talking about the nurses, the teachers, the care workers, the very backbone of our society. They are priced out of the city they serve. Let's talk numbers, because the figures behind this fiasco are enough to make your eyes water. The Home Office is currently spending over £8 million a day on hotels for asylum seekers. Let me repeat that, £8 million every single day. It could fund the salaries of over 70,000 new nurses for the NHS. It could pay for thousands of new police officers to make our streets safer. It could build tens of thousands of affordable homes for British families. Instead, it's being funneled directly into the pockets of hotel chains. It's the subject that makes the liberal elite squirm in their seats, but we have to talk about it. Crime. For many Londoners, the placement of large numbers of asylum seekers, mostly young men, into their local hotels has coincided with a noticeable decline in community safety. To deny this is to deny the lived experience of countless citizens. Stories of increased antisocial behaviour, street harassment and petty crime around these hotels. Women in particular have spoken out about feeling unsafe walking past these establishments, especially at night. For a perfect, infuriating example of this madness in action, we need only look at the events that unfolded in Pimlico. A group of asylum seekers who had been housed for months in a 4-star hotel, the Comfort Inn, were told they were being moved to different accommodation. Instead, they barricaded themselves inside, refusing to leave. They protested, holding up signs demanding to stay in their taxpayer-funded central London lodgings. It was a staggering display of entitlement. The response from certain activist groups was even more infuriating. They immediately descended on the scene, supporting the asylum seekers and condemning the government's attempts to move them. And if you want to hear the truth, you don't talk to the politicians in Westminster or the activists with their megaphones. You talk to the ordinary people whose lives are being directly impacted. Go to a working-class borough like Dagenham. Speak to the parents who can't get a school place for their child because the local primary is suddenly oversubscribed. These are not the voices you hear on the BBC. They are the voices of the forgotten people, the silent majority who are sick and tired of being ignored. They see the endless fleet of dinghies crossing the channel, a sight that would have been unthinkable just a decade ago. What this entire sorry saga exposes is the gaping chasm between the ruling class and the people they are supposed to represent. There are now 2 Britons. They champion the rights of asylum seekers from their gated communities and ivory towers, completely insulated from the negative consequences of their high-minded ideals. Then there is the other Britain. This is the Britain where the majority of people live. In this Britain, people have to deal with the reality of the policies dreamt up by the elite. They pay the taxes that fund the multi-million-pound hotel bills. So we arrive at the final, unavoidable question. Looking at this catalogue of chaos, you have to ask, has this government completely lost its mind? The promises have been endless. We were promised we would take back control. We were promised the boats would be stopped. The government is playing a dangerous game, testing the patience of the British public to its absolute limit. The British people deserve a government that puts their interests first. The real question is, how much longer will the British people put up with being treated like second-class citizens in their own country? The clock is ticking.